So I wanted to start out with a confession on my YouTube channel, and that is that on December 31st or January 1st, whichever one you actually make resolutions on, I said this year I'm going to upload one new YouTube video per month. And this will be my second YouTube video, and you can see that it's March. However, we're getting back on track in the month of March, and I even have this idea for a brand new series that should come to you every Thursday afternoon. It's going to be Thankful Thursdays. That's right, at least for now, I'm planning on uploading a brand new video every Thursday called Thankful Thursdays, where I'll explain what I was thankful for that week. There is no denying that believers and followers of Christ are called to be thankful, and that's the inspiration behind this new series, where I'll just explain something I was thankful for in the last week, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Now, I'm sure some people think that these videos might turn like super spiritual or all about the Bible, and while of course I am thankful for those things, each episode's not going to be that way. You know, each episode isn't going to be something super spiritual, so even if you're not all about the sermons I put up on my YouTube channel or whatever, I still encourage you to come check this out, because we still have things to be thankful for. And just in case you don't believe me, the very first episode of Thankful Thursdays is devoted to something I was very thankful for last week, and that is podcasts. Because of the nature of my job and the fact that my school is an hour away that I go to each week, I'm in the car a lot. And I'm tired of listening to the same songs over and over again that the radio plays, or even the same songs I play over and over again when I have control of my playlist. I use Amazon Music, which I'll be thankful for another week, but I've all of a sudden gotten into podcasts. My favorite podcast is Theology in the Raw with Preston Sprinkle. Now, of course, I remember that I said all these Thankful Thursday episodes wouldn't be spiritual, and podcasts aren't spiritual, but it's true that my favorite podcast is about theology, which makes it sort of spiritual. I'm a huge fan of Preston Sprinkle and his work, especially in sexuality, but even the other topics he discusses on his views of hell or other things that listeners actually send in to his podcast. I'm just a huge fan of what he says. It really gets me thinking. It's actually influenced my views and how I do my job as a pastor. Now, I say that it influences how I do my job as a pastor, but mostly that has been in my beliefs, right? He's changed the way I look at some passages in Scripture, and by no means do you have to be a pastor to enjoy Theology in the Raw. I know other people, listeners that send in questions even, that they're not pastors, they're just people in their church and are kind of wondering what to think or have questions, and that's what he's all about on Theology in the Raw, so I highly recommend that podcast. There are so many other podcasts that I could mention that I've listened to, and even some more that I've subscribed to, but I'll throw one more out there, and it's just because I'm a huge fan of his. His name is John Jorgensen, and he has the John Cast. Now, John is actually a YouTuber first. I guess he probably wouldn't say that. He'd say like he's a husband and dog dad first. But I found him on YouTube before I found his podcast, mostly because his podcast didn't exist before I found him on YouTube. But he takes a lot of his YouTube videos and turns them into podcasts. A lot of his sermons, or a series he has called A Day in the Word, short clips that are more for drives across town than driving to school, which is an hour away from me, or whatever that looks like for you. But I've met John. He came to an event at my church with our youth ministry. Fantastic person, fantastic speaker, and I'll leave you with that last recommendation. So that concludes the very first ever episode of Thankful Thursday. If you're one of the few people who subscribe to my YouTube channel, hi Mom, but feel free to comment below with anything you've been thankful for in the past week, and I'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday.